Welcome back to Breslov.org. We're now towards the end of the 3 weeks before Tisha B'Av now. A perspective from Rabbi Nachman and of course Rav Noson's interpreting it on an attitude that we should have in this time before Tisha B'Av. What are we looking for? What are we doing? What's missing? What are we mourning over? What are we expecting to get? Rabbi Nachman explains in lesson 67, part 2, one of his most powerful lessons, that there exists what's called me'orei or and me'orei esh, lights of light and lights of consuming destructive light. You have one light which enhances a person, and you have another type of light that is like a fire light, a destructive light that just consumes and breaks down a person. Rabbi Nachman teaches a person is affected and influenced directly by who he receives from. If his teacher, his mentor, his guide is someone who's rooted in what's called me'orei or, the light of light, so it reflects itself in the person's ability to hold on, to advance, to continue, to live life like he should. But if a person's leader is covered up and he's like a charlatan, he's a fraud, he sets himself as presenting himself as a light of light, but is really a consuming light, so it's reflected in the followers, the students, in that they reach dead-end, fatal situations in their life. So Rabbi Nachman teaches a person is very much influenced from their leadership. The problem now in exile and with the destruction of the temple is, number one, true tzaddikim are missing, are hiding, disappeared, passed away, or they're hiding. And number two is that there's false leaders presenting themselves as being real leaders. And the innocent bystander, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know who's who. Who's a real leader, who's not? So Rabbi Nachman and Rav Noson in his prayer on this lesson, they say the main way for a person to receive eyes, to be able to discern where is a true leader, who is not, and who's even what's called an admixture of both, the way to discern comes from the act of mourning over the loss, the destruction of the temple. It's called the devotion called Tikkun Chatzot, which means, if you can, get up at midnight and to mourn over this loss, to cry over this loss. Hashem, I don't know who is the true leader to help me, where are the true tzaddikim who are rooted in the light of light, me'orei or, and who do I stay away from? And in these 3 weeks, leading up to Tisha B'Av, there's an additional devotion, a custom of at noontime during the day to also recite the Tikkun Chatzot, the first part called Tikkun Rachel. Rav Noson writes that through this act of mourning, a person is, by crying, the act of crying, because mourning leads to watery eyes, so this watering of the eyes clarifies the fog, the spiritual fog covering over the eyes, to give a person a clear perspective in order to find the real truth and the real true leaders that he needs.